Alright, so a lot of you guys said you know me. I'm Amanda Wickman, I'm Josh's mom. You guys have seen me around a lot. So my job right now is I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't go to work every day like a lot of these other speakers that have come in and talked. Like Mr. Ross, he goes to work. He works on the computer every day. So I was like, what am I going to say to them? I have a computer at home. I use a computer. I have my phone, which is basically a little mini computer. How do computers affect my life every day? How does coding affect my life every day? Well, let's think about some of the things that I do. I get in the car and bring my kids to school or pick them up from school every day. Our cars have computers in them. Somebody works for, in my case, Toyota, and has programmed my vehicle to work. And when it doesn't work properly, I have to take it to the dealership so that somebody that understands that coding on that computer can fix it. I don't understand it. I only know when it's broken. But somebody has to know how to code my car. What about when I go to the grocery store? That's something that I do 2 or 3 times a week. Is there coding involved in going to the grocery store?
Yes.
Yeah. Every time you buy something, it has a barcode on it, right?
Yeah.
Has one of these codes. And what does the person at the checkout do? They scan it and it goes beep beep. Well, it doesn't just beep because it makes somebody feel good. It beeps because the computer is programmed to read this bar and tell the price, and then the computer is programmed to add everything up. It's programmed to put the taxes in. It's programmed to run my credit card. I don't do the programming, but the programming affects me directly. If the grocery store didn't have somebody at the corporate level that did that coding, I couldn't go to the grocery store and feed my kids. What else do I do every day where there's coding involved? Can somebody raise their hand and tell me something that your mom or dad does daily or weekly? Tell me something that happens in your home. Just a regular activity. Okay, what about waking up from going to sleep? What do we usually use to wake up? Most of us use an alarm clock. Okay, well, so if you use an alarm clock, or an alarm on your phone, somebody had to create the ability for the clock or your phone to do that. What's something else that we do, Joshua?
We check their emails.
Okay, well that's kind of an obvious one because it's on a traditional computer. Let's think of something that's not on a traditional computer.
Going to the bank and putting money in the bank.
Okay, going to the bank. So it used to be, this is a great time of year to actually think about that, because what do we all watch? Miracle on 34th Street. And they used to have to write down, Mrs. Wickman came, to the bank today on, what's the date, December 7th? December 7th, and she deposited, let's say I had $100. And they would write down $100. And then I would come in a couple weeks later and I'd say, I need $20 of my $100. And so they'd have to write down, Mrs. Wickman came in on December 17th and she took out $20. So then they'd have to do 100 minus 20 and make sure to keep my account right. Now, it's all in the computer, and they scan my little slip and they say deposit made, and they say withdraw made, and I can go on and I can look and I can see just how much money that we have in our bank account from when my husband gets paid from work and from when we pay our bills and all that kind of thing. So that's absolutely coding, just going to the bank. I got another example. In our house this week, and I think in a lot of your houses this week, some people have been a little bit sick. There's been a stomach bug going around Shadowbriar. And this week I've been very thankful for my washing machine. My washing machine works because somebody coded it. It's a computer. So just doing my laundry, somebody at, whichever laundry company, GE, somebody at that company has coded my washing machine so that I can tell it, I want hot water this time, and I want extra detergent this time, because I had somebody get sick. And my dryer is the same thing. Just doing the laundry, somebody has to have a job to make those machines work. Give me another example.
The dishwasher?
Dishwasher is this, fairly similar to the washing machine. Somebody has coded that dishwasher so that it knows to rinse the dishes, to let the soap out, to wash the dishes, to rinse them after the soap, to do the dry cycle. You used to have to do all that by hand. Now it happens because a computer helps us. What's another example?
Ordering.
Ordering what?
It's ordering shoes.
Ordering shoes. Okay, well, one of my favorite websites to order shoes from is Zappos. I have to know what size my feet are, but I can go online and I can search for all different kinds of shoes and order them. Again, that's a fairly traditional computer. Like, we do that on, a computer. I'm trying to think of things that are not a laptop or a hard computer. What's an example?
A heater.
The heater in our home, which I'm going to be super thankful for the next few days because I do not like cold. We have a special kind of heater in our house called a heat pump. I know about that much about how it works, but the company that designed our heating system, somebody who understands all kinds of stuff about mechanical engineering, talked to somebody that understands computer coding. And these people worked together to create the heater in my house. And I go to my little screen, which happens to be a very computerized touch screen, and I touch it, and it says, it's 65 degrees in the house, and I say, oh, that's too cold, I want it warmer. And I push the little up button, and my heat comes on. I didn't code it, somebody else coded that. So you could work for so many different kinds of companies if you know how to do this background coding. A lot of times you guys think about video games. That's something that's very applicable to your lives. That is, and that's fine. Play the computer games. I don't understand them. But you don't have to just create computer games. And especially as you guys continue to get older, so many more things are going to be computer driven. I'm looking at this coffee pot right here. This is a manual coffee pot. You get it, you get the coffee out by pushing the lever down, and there's some air pressure in there, and it works. I have a Keurig at home, and I push a button, and my coffee brews. Somewhere in there, there's a microchip that tells it how to heat the water, how hot the water needs to be, when to dispense the water, because I don't have to do any of those things manually. As you guys get older, everything is going to be run by computers. So find something that is enjoyable to you. Do you enjoy designing clothes? Do you enjoy this textile right here was designed by a computer? You have to have the knowledge in your head. You have to know the math behind how you want, like you have to be able to do your regular math. But the computer can do the math faster and more accurately. You have to know what you want it to do, and then you can tell it. Computers can't think. That's what you have to remember. A human being has to think the thought first, and then create a computer program to carry out that thought. And it's every single day. It's in everything that we do. All right, does anybody have any questions? I don't know that I can really answer a lot of computer-related questions, but I can try to field whatever you got.
I know something that is run by a computer and is also manually played.
Okay, what's your example?
Football. Because then they have to get the scoreboard up, which is run by computers, then they play by themselves on the
Right, but so like sports is a really great example. When we watch sports on television, we're watching professional sports where there's a lot of money involved, and so there's a lot of computing involved. When we watch a football game, they have the ability now to replay a play. Used to be, or if you're playing like junior high or high school football, you only get to see things when they happen in real time. And you have to do the best you can with the information that your eyes and your ears and your brain took in. You know, did he fall down on the 5-yard line, or did he fall down on the 10-yard line? You have to do the best you can. But in professional football, and in a lot of college football even now, they can say, well, you know what, we have it recorded. Let's play it back. Oh, you know what, he actually fell down at the 7.5. So they can do that. This keeping the score, keeping the time, and that kind of thing. And that's a really good example of where actual human, you know, what we have to do as humans comes into conjunction, working together with computers. So what did you think about?
Is a stove on?
A stove? So like, let's think about the way that we used to cook, like when they were cavemen. They would create a fire, some flint, get a spark and get it burning. Well, now I have a knob, and I turn my knob, and my coal gets hot. There's wires and stuff. It's very basic and simple technology because it has been around for a while. There are a lot of stove tops that have more technology, and I think that that's going to be one of the things that you guys are going to see is we have had technology at a fairly basic level for a long time in something like a stove where we don't have to have fire inside our house because that's really dangerous. You guys, your generation, is going to take the technology and make it stuff that we can't even imagine. When I was your age, people did not have phones in their pocket. And I guarantee you, there is not an adult in this building that doesn't have a phone on them right now. When I was your age, we had one phone, maybe two, in the house, and they were plugged into the wall, and that was all you had. If somebody would have tried to tell me when I was 10 or 11 years old that we were going to walk around with phones constantly, basically with a little tiny computer in our back pocket, I would have thought you were crazy. My dad had a big computer. I remember. We were one of the only houses in our neighborhood, because my dad's kind of a nerd. He's not kind of a nerd. My dad's a big nerd. Granddad's a big nerd, right, Joshy? My father has 2 PhDs in engineering. He's very, very smart, and he does a lot on computers. And I remember playing early computer games. You guys aren't ever going to remember a time without computers. So what you guys are going to do with computers is going to be amazing. Do you have some kind of other example?
Yeah. Let's stay on the topic of shoes. There's these shoes that this guy made. You can Bluetooth and listen to the music, and it tightens up and like to get your shoe size.
So when I don't even remember, I was probably in junior high, so maybe a year or two older than you guys. We had these real fancy shoes. I think I'm older than you. We had these fancy shoes that had a pump on the side, and we thought we were so cool because we pump up our shoes. You remember those shoes? They were so cool, we thought we were so awesome. But it was manual. You know, you had to push a button and push air in, almost like you were blowing up a balloon inside the shoe. Now, something like that's computerized. And I have heard about these shoes. They can, like, play your iPod music. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, man, are you kidding me? While I'm, like, working out, to not have to have my headphones on? That's crazy. Who would have thought when I was 10 or 11 years old that music would come out of your feet? That's crazy.
Every day my dad is coding because my dad works for a hotel, and he has to pay the hotel through his computers every day at work.
A lot of the ways that we pay people now is definitely through coding, because the primary way we pay for things is through a credit card. And even if you pay through cash, like over here they mentioned, it does still have to go through the bank. So that's definitely the case. Okay. A microwave oven? Right. So my parents' generation, parents that are around 55 to 65, were the first people to have microwaves. They didn't have microwaves before that. So this would be like your grandparents. Your great-grandparents, they didn't have a microwave. They had to heat stuff up on the stove or in the oven. They've had those for a long time. But microwave uses a different kind of technology that somebody that was really smart thought of. And now, I don't reheat a lot of stuff without the microwave, quite honestly. Did you guys have anything over here? Nothing?
When like a watch being example too, it's like it has to know when, like, what time of minute it is, what second it is.
Who even wears a watch anymore? I mean, I don't even have on a watch. I have on a Fitbit. So my Fitbit tells me what time it is, how many steps I've taken today, what my heart rate is. It tells me how many miles I've walked, how many calories I've burned, and how many flights of stairs. How does this thing know if I've climbed a flight of stairs? Because somebody coded something on a little tiny chip that's in here, and it can tell a pressure difference in our atmosphere of a flight of stairs. That's some serious technology. I don't understand it. I just know my Fitbit tells me I'm supposed to get 10 a day, and I get a little green star if I do. And that makes us happy when we get little green stars.
Like hoverboards?
I am very unfamiliar with hoverboards. I'm still waiting for Back to the Future hoverboards to come into reality, because I thought we'd have them by now.
The floating ones?
I thought we'd have them. I would
It
probably
is.
fall off because I don't have very good balance.
It is now.
Yeah, it is.
It's not mainstream.
The drone technology,
They make the big ones
yeah, that's the drone technology.
The drone technology.
You can fly on it.
So I grew up mostly in Texas, but my family has a house on the beach in California. So I got to practice hovering over the ocean. We call it surfing, and I was terrible at it, and it's really cold out there, so when you fell off, it was really cold. That was the only way that we ever knew to experience hoverboarding until somebody created a skateboard. And now, instead of having to have water to float us or wheels to roll us, somehow we're going to just be on the air. That's a little bit frightening to me. But for some of you tricksters out there, I look forward to seeing what you can do with that. Hold on over here, guys. What were you thinking about? I'm very fascinated by magnets. And let me just tell you another thing. It's interesting what I thought of when you said that. I saw something online. Is everything we see online true?
No.
No, it's not. So it's really important to remember to fact check anything that you see online. It's fun to watch some of that neat stuff, and some of it might be true. You know, some of it may be really cutting edge technology that we just don't see all the time yet. But because of graphic programming and stuff, always think to yourself, that looks cool, but that may not be real. So important to keep in mind.